I've never thought of myself as being like the best, and I think that's what kind of keeps me driven to keep going, is that, yeah, there are guys, there's always going to be somebody out there bigger and better than me, but I just have to be better than them for 15 minutes.
Being perceived as an underdog, you know, it's actually nothing new. I've always been perceived as an underdog, and I think that's kind of like been the thing that has really helped me thrive. Even when I was a kid playing baseball, you know, I wasn't always the favorite. I never was the starting player. In the beginning of the season, I always had to do extra practices and stuff like that, and that's the type of stuff that really gets me going, I think. I don't really care too much about what the reporters or the analysts think, or even, you know, this might sound worse than I intended to, or even the fans, because a lot of the fans in the U.S. tend to be front runners, and it's just, I don't know if it's a cultural thing, they like to see winners. Japanese fans, once they connect with a fighter, regardless if they win, they lose, they're in a slump, they'll still support that guy, right? Because they like to see somebody prevail. So, you know, whatever people want to say that they can say. The more I hear people say that, you know, I'm not that good, the more, that's what gets me up in the morning. That's what makes me go to practice. Yeah, you know, that's pretty much, yeah, it's the driving force, and that's what gives me the chip on my shoulder. So. You know, John Dodson, I first noticed him, of course, when he was on that Tap Out show. But to be honest, I didn't watch one episode of the Ultimate Fighter, mainly probably because I didn't make it on. But he's got heavy hands, he's very athletic, he's hard to hold down, he's hard to take down, very slippery guy. I know that he's done Abu Dhabi trials before, I've seen some of his grappling matches. Yeah, I think it's going to take everything I have to beat him. I like to train with a particular type of person, to be honest. You know, there's, I'd say, 90% of the fighters out there, I'd say, are like make-believe fighters. That's kind of the term that I use. Like, they're not doing it because they love fighting, they're doing it because they want to be famous, or they have some other ulterior motive than just loving the fight. So, I mean, well, the guys I'm training with are like Ron Carrillo, Taylor McCorston, Evan Esquera, Derek Easterling. Each person has their own role, and we all fit together, I think. And you know, I would say that some of these people are like the closest thing that I have to family, being an individual child, right? You know, these are the closest things I can have to siblings. And I think one thing that we have is we all have a seriousness about it and a love for it. So we've got about 5 weeks left in training camp. Things are coming along really good, you know, doing a lot of stand-up training. The grappling stuff feels good, wrestling stuff feels good. The whole all-over aspect of the integrating, you know, all the aspects feels good. Physical condition is really good. I feel great. I'm really excited, actually, going from bantamweight to flyweight. I've always been a smaller bantamweight and having to do a lot of lifting, and actually had to cut back on running, and, you know, utilize a lot of supplements and things to keep mass on and just get bigger. My diet's changed a lot. You know, before I was eating like all-you-can-eat Korean barbecue, high protein. Now I've actually almost gone 100% vegetarian, and so I feel way better. But my recovery time is way better. You know, now I can go through all my sparring rounds and not even need a drink of water. Going down to flyweight, I can be at my natural weight, plus I'm not having to fight like ginormous human beings, which is kind of cool. Now it's gonna be like, oh, I get to fight the guy my own size, which I really haven't done too much before. Another thing in going down to 125 is that now, since I'm walking around like mid-130s as opposed to 150, I'm not one of the bigger guys in the practice, so I'm actually one of the two smallest guys in the practice, which allows me, I think, to get a lot more out of the workouts because I have to work twice as hard dealing with the bigger guys. You know, I was kind of at a loss and trying to figure out what to do, and I'd been communicating with the UFC and Sean Shelby about an incident that took place.
Hands up. Don't drop them. Short into memory.
What's that? I'm having like serious shortness of memory.